Welcome everybody to Grapplefuck. We're covering Alexander Romanov, King Kong against Marcos, Brazilian named De Lima. What's his nickname, Schooler? Do you care to announce
Uh,
his nickname?
I don't.
Pezzaio?
Oh, Pezão?
Pezzao?
Pezão?
How's your Portuguese?
Very limited. I actually did a module. I did a year of Portuguese at university. I suspect that means maybe heavy.
Is it
Uh,
similar to Spanish?
it is similar, yes, but with some
Fair
differences.
enough.
Let me look up what this means. I'm curious.
Okay,
Pezão.
your screen's gone off, by the way. And while Schooler looks up the meaning of Marcos's nickname, as a reminder, please do like the videos. Please do subscribe. Leave any comments you want. We'll get back to you. Very interested in this fight. Obviously, two heavyweights. One very experienced in the UFC. One who smashed his debut and looks like a serious fighter. So this will be an interesting one.
Yeah, for sure. I'm still trying to look this up. Sorry. Bigfoot. It means Bigfoot.
Bigfoot. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Your screen's still off, by the way.
Right,
All right, let's get into the stats of this. So we've got Romanov. He's undefeated in his professional career. He does have one loss, but that was in the amateur ranks. So professionally, he's undefeated. Marcos is 17-7-1. He's had quite a lot of fights in the UFC, but he's one of those guys that, and a lot of heavyweights are like this. He'll win one and he'll lose one, and then he'll win one again, and then he'll lose one again. Which a lot of heavyweights are like that. So countries, Moldova and Brazil. Romanov's an inch taller. Romanov, I'd say, is definitely the bigger man. I think Marcos has fought at lower weights various times in his career, throughout his career. I think Romanov is definitely the bigger man. Marcos has got a lot of KOs. He does have some serious power. I mean, a lot of heavyweights do. Most heavyweights. So does Romanov, but Romanov's more of a take you down and pound the shit out of you kind of guy. And Romanov has quite a lot of subs too. Average fight time is definitely wrong for Romanov here. The figures haven't come in for some reason. For Marcos, it's pretty low because he either gets finished or he finishes people. His knockdown average is 1.41 every 15 minutes. Getting into significant strikes, not many figures for Alexander. He's only had one fight in the UFC, and obviously they haven't really pulled through the stats. But Marcos absorbs more than he lands, which is a huge problem at heavyweight. You do not want to be in that position at heavyweight. Defense and significant strikes percentage is all right. Grappling, I mean, these are his stats. I'd say definitely out of the two, Romanov is the better grappler by far, in my opinion. He's definitely got some kind of wrestling base. He looks like he has a freestyle wrestling base. And he's got quite a lot of submissions on his record. I believe Marcos has got one submission in the UFC. But initial thoughts, Andrew?
Well, in many ways, this is a classic matchup of styles. On the one hand, you've got Alexander Romanov, who is a wrestler. He's got fantastic explosive takedowns, and he will maul you on the ground. On the other hand, you've got De Lima, I think he does have some jiu-jitsu game, but he's more of a striker. He basically just wants to stand and bang. But to talk about Romanov's ground game, I don't quite know what his wrestling background is. You said it's freestyle wrestling.
It looks like it's freestyle to me.
Yeah.
But I may be wrong. It might be Greco-Roman. He's definitely done wrestling, 100%. I watched a few of his fights. Yeah.
He's got really, really fast explosive takedowns. He covers that distance really quickly. That's amazing.
Really good. Yeah.
And he's got a whole range of different takedowns, some of which I don't know the names of because we don't see them in the UFC that often. So the takedowns are spot on.
Yeah.
When he's on the... Actually, one thing that does concern me slightly is that he doesn't really set them up with strikes. I haven't seen him strike much, if at all.
Yeah, they're so fast that I don't think he needs to in a lot of cases.
I think against De Lima, I think you're right. Yeah, I don't think he needs to worry too much. I don't think Romanov is going to have a problem taking De Lima down. The issues I see, potential issues I see with Romanov, when he's on top, yes, he's heavy. Yes, he's got lots of ferocious ground and pound. It doesn't look like he's got the world's best jiu-jitsu.
Yeah,
Because in that first fight against Roque Martin, he had him basically dead to rights on the first round. He went for a Kimura, couldn't get it. Went for a arm and head choke, couldn't get it. When you're in that dominant a position and you've literally got your opponent laid out flat, you should be getting those, I feel. And Michael
yeah,
Bisping also raised, excuse me, I've got a cold here. Michael Bisping raised an issue with his jiu-jitsu. Roque Martin had him in half guard, but then just kind of let his legs flop. And all Romanov had to do was just bring his leg through, and he would have been in full mount. And he didn't realize this. A more experienced jiu-jitsu person would have immediately taken that opportunity to get into full mount and into the more dominant position. So I'm not sure his jiu-jitsu is that great. And I think De Lima does have some jiu-jitsu.
Apparently he's a black belt, but I think he's one of those black belts that are not actually black belts.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
He's either one of those black belts who's not actually a black belt or hasn't figured out how to use gi jiu-jitsu in MMA, because that's a transition that not everybody makes.
Yeah.
Because those are very different things. Grappling in the gi, where you're holding onto someone's kimono or dressing gown, you don't have that in MMA. It's a very different game, very similar game, but in some respects it's very different as well. It is a different game. And I don't think De Lima has really adapted to that. And just on the topic of De Lima's ground game, just getting my notes here, he's been dominated by OSP on the ground to the point where he was completely helpless and then submitted.
Yeah, OSP submitted him, right?
Yep, he got subbed by Stefan Struve.
He actually knocked Stefan Struve out down in the first 15 seconds. He came out the gate really quick.
He did, yeah.
But then
he ended up on top.
I think he just ran out of energy.
Yeah. So the thing is here, De Lima has got some jiu-jitsu, but it's not great. I don't think it's enough to overcome just the intensity of Romanov. First of all, the weight, the ground and pound, and just the intensity of Romanov. Because when Romanov gets going with the ground and pound, it's a lot to deal with. You're not going to be attacking submissions from your back when Romanov is going Donkey Kong on your face. The issue for Romanov is he has to get this to the ground. He has to.
Yeah. I think Lima's got one punch KO power. And most heavyweights do. So Romanov can't be taking the risk of standing with this guy.
Yeah.
There's just no point when you're well, I wouldn't say ground game, but when your wrestling is that good and your top position, your ground and pound is that good, what's the point of standing with this guy? I mean, the way that I see it, he can take him down relatively early in the first round, probably pass his guard quite quickly as well. Once he's on top of him, I don't think Marcos will be able to get back up. He's a lot bigger than him, and even someone who's very good at jiu-jitsu, if someone that heavy is lying on top of you, it's still pretty tough to get out of that. So, I mean, from there, you could possibly go for some kind of submission off your back if you're really good at jiu-jitsu. But from what I've seen from Marcus, I don't think his jiu-jitsu is good enough to sub him from his back. I think Romanov's much more likely to pass his guard, mount him, and basically beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen De Lima go for ankle locks in 2 different fights. He didn't get them, but he tried. He once got a guillotine, jumped into guillotine. So yeah, he's got submissions, but he's
got one in the UFC, I think. He
just hasn't
subbed really someone with an arm triangle.
Yeah, so he's not good enough to really pose a submission threat, I don't think. But this is a test for Romanov.
Huge
this is a test of his jiu-jitsu. It's not impossible that There'll be a scramble. They'll get on the ground, and De Lima will do something. Well, what it is, we don't know. We don't know what they're going to look like when they're on the ground. But I think we have to assume that that top control from Romanov is going to be good enough.
Yeah, I think it's more dangerous for Romanov to stand with this guy.
Yes.
Because De Lima well, he's knocked quite a few people out in round 1 and so on. And his striking is not, the best technically. He does have pretty fast hands for a heavyweight. So if he swings something wild and he catches Romanov, anything can happen.
Yeah, there's a danger zone. Obviously, Romanov is going to have to come into striking range in order to get the takedown. When he's entering into striking range, it's not impossible that De Lima will catch him.
Yeah.
How often that's going to happen, I don't know, but it's certainly a possibility. Let's just think about game plans. We know what Romanov's game plan is: cover the distance, get it to the ground. That's it. Simple.
Yeah.
What does De Lima do here?
If I was De Lima, I would. I think keep it standing, use takedown defense, and keep it standing is his best shot.
Yeah, but more specifically, he's got a bit of a problem, I think. So he's going to have to be outside of. He's going to have to fight at range, because if he gets too close, he's going to get taken down.
Yeah.
He's going to have to fight at range, pump the jab, throw those leg kicks, middle kicks, high kicks, whatever it is. Yeah, which I just don't see that going well for him.
No, I don't think he has think he has a striking ability to pull that off.
Yeah, he doesn't like striking from the outside. Where he does well in his fights is where strikers come forward and just enter into his range, and he
gets quite
hooks.
wild. Yeah,
yes. Which is what happened with Benzasolid. But Benzasolid just comes in like this, and De Lima just goes and flattens.
Just went mad.
Yeah.
Pretty very quick for a heavyweight, but not the greatest technique.
Yeah. I'd agree with that. Yeah. So I think De Lima's got a problem here, and one thing he does do is he throws a lot of low kicks, and he often throws them out of range, so he misses. And then he does that thing some fighters do where you miss and then you just sort of spin round.
That's not good.
Well, it's like to avoid, I think, if you spin round, because, if you throw a low kick and you miss, it can mess up your knee. If you don't move your knee, it can hurt your knee. And so it's to stop you from going off balance as well. So if you just do a 360 turn, you end up back where you started.
Yeah.
The bad thing about that is I think Romanov can exploit that.
Well, that's what I was thinking. He's so quick with his takedowns. He doesn't necessarily need to do a forward takedown. Like he could just grab your back and do a hip toss. I've seen him do suplexes. I've seen him take people up against the cage and just throw them over like a pancake, bag of potatoes. Like this guy is incredibly strong. He's got very, very high level wrestling.
Yeah, I mean he suplexed Roque Martin, who is a massive fat man with a very low center of gravity. So the strength required to do that.
He's really strong.
Yeah.
He's really strong. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So Lima might get taken for a ride if he does that.
I think so,
and He does actually have a body slam win on his record as well, Romanov.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah. Outside of the UFC, obviously. He's only had one fight in the UFC, but yeah, he's got a body slam win.
Yeah. So I think for De Lima, he's going to have to stay on the outside. He's going to have to pump that jab.
Yeah.
He's going to have to throw those low kicks, which often don't work for him. And he's just not that kind of guy. I think this is a bad matchup for him. He's not an outside range fighter. That's not him.
No, he's not. He definitely isn't. And his jab, he does jab now and then. He doesn't really double jab. He doesn't move with the jab. He doesn't. It's a basic jab.
Yes. Yeah. There's no footwork. There's no feinting.
Yeah,
There's no.
there's none of that. No.
He's a classic heavyweight stand and banger. That's it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a brawler. He's a brawler. That's what he is.
Yeah.
Classic heavyweight brawler. Does have power. As we say, most heavyweights do. But I think his chance in this fight is basically KOing Romanov early. But I think Romanov's so explosive with his takedowns. And he looked very calm in his UFC debut as well. He looked really calm, which I like.
I thought, yeah, he did. He did.
Yeah, he looked very calm.
I think he likes fighting. I think
he's ethnically Russian, so Moldova, but ethnically Russian. So
there's a kind of guy who's not angry. He doesn't have any problems from childhood. Doesn't have any issues. Doesn't have any rage. He's a happy person who just likes fighting.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's him.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, going on to predictions. First of all, as we always say on Grapplefuck FK, we do not normally put heavyweights into the cum-cums. However, I was thinking about this one, and I was thinking safe cum-cum possibly.
I was also pondering this.
Sorry, actually, safe. I'm on the fence about. Risky, probably. I'd probably put it in the risky.
Yes, and it could go either way.
Yeah.
Until you look at the odds.
Okay, what are the odds?
Well, who do you think is the favorite?
I don't know. Romanov is undefeated. He looked pretty good in his first fight. I'd say he's probably a slight favorite.
He's a huge favorite.
Really?
Yeah, he's minus 450.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Oh.
And De Lima is plus 300. And
what's a De Lima KO?
Also thinking about this. Let's have a look. Plus 500.
Oh. Well.
So I quite like that.
Yeah.
So if you're putting, so if Romanov is a massive favorite, and you're not getting great odds, you don't want to put us in the risky cum-cum, because we want value in our risky cum-cum.
Exactly.
So it has to go in the safe cum-cum.
Mm.
And I think it's okay for the safe cum-cum. As you said, we don't like putting heavyweights in the safe cum-cum. But I think the paths to victory here for De Lima are very limited.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
And we can always hedge with a De Lima KO, because those odds are very good.
And that's pretty much the only way you can win.
Yes.
Yeah. So, okay, I wasn't expecting him to be that big a favorite. Romanov.
Yeah, me neither. But I think the odds makers probably have this correct.
Yeah. That's interesting. That's good for us, because De Lima KO is not. It could happen.
It could, yeah.
Yeah. He's a lot more experienced than Romanov. A lot more experienced in the UFC.
Yeah. I mean, he's going to have to catch him coming in. So the only way I see Lima getting the KO is Romanov comes in for the takedown, and De Lima
or even rush him. He rushed Struve and knocked him down straight out of the gate.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's a possibility.
He is quite wild in his approach, and with fighters like that, you can't. You just don't know how their fights will turn out. As in, that Stefan Struve fight, if he had just played it a bit more intelligently, he could have got him out of there.
Yes. Yeah.
Ran out of gas, got really excited. If he held back a bit, picked his punches, maybe threw in a few elbows. But yeah, yeah. I mean, I think Romanov will. I'm going Romanov 70-30, 75-25, 70-30, somewhere around that region.
I'm going to say a bit higher, maybe 80-20 for Romanov.
80-20. Yeah, and I think via ground and pound.
Yeah. The thing is with Romanov's ground and pound is it's not really targeted. It is like just Donkey Kong. So a
King
lot of
Kong.
those,
Yeah.
yeah,
Does a lot of double fists and shit like that.
yeah. So a lot of those shots don't actually get through; they're blocked.
No, but when someone who's 130 kilos is on top of you and throwing shots like that,
I mean, it's
you don't
unpleasant
need,
for sure.
yeah, you don't really need many to get through.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you look at the Rocky Martin fights, I don't think Rocky Martin actually took any damage. His face wasn't marked up at all.
Yeah, so but they'll stop it, right? If a fighter's not throwing back and they're covered, there's only so much that a referee will take. It's likely to be stopped.
I think it depends on the referee.
It does depend on the referee. Where's this fight? It's in Vegas, right? Yeah, it's in Vegas. Okay. All right. Yeah. If it was on Yaz Island, they probably would have let someone die or something.
Yeah. What's the guy's name? Mario Yamasaki. Is that Mazzagatti? Steve Mazzagatti. Yeah. Yeah. If he dies, he dies. You know.
If he dies, he dies. Even with the Khabib fight, it's like the guy fucking Justin was tapping for a good 5 seconds.
Yeah, that's true.
Didn't see it.
But
Yaz Island, mate.
Yeah, if you don't
Middle
see
Eastern rules.
That worries me about sparring in jiu-jitsu. If someone's choking me, if I go to sleep, he's not going to know, and no one else is watching. So what the fuck happens? What the fuck happens? He's not going to stop.
But that's the thing. It's like I've been when I used to do jiu-jitsu, my instructor used to tell me off. Sometimes he'd get mad at me and he'd say, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'd tap and he'd be like, "Why the fuck did you tap because of that?" And that kind of gave me a different approach over time. And I started getting to the point where I was not tapping, which fucked me up, fucked my arm up. And then he told me off one day and he was like, "Look, you need to tap because it's dangerous."
Yeah, you have to tap. Yeah.
He goes, there's 15, 20 people that he's looking at in a class,
Yeah.
Can't keep an eye on everyone. You have to tap.
My instructor spars with us, so he's not looking at anybody. So if I've got some cunt strangling me in a rear naked choke and I go to sleep, he's just going to hold that until I tap.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to tap because I'm asleep.
Because you're out.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. No, you have to. When you get to the point where you can't breathe or whatever, you have to tap. Unless there's competition, obviously, and someone's watching over, then
But that's the dangerous thing. In a rear naked choke or arm triangle, it's they're not cutting off your airway; it's cutting off the carotid artery, so you can still breathe, and you can feel fine, but you still just fall asleep.
Yeah, you fall asleep. Someone pick your arm up,
and you don't know.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You just wake up, have a nice dream.
But what if that person is blocking off your carotid artery for like a minute, not realizing?
I doubt someone would not notice that in competition. It'd be very highly unlikely.
I don't know, man.
They start testing, right? I don't think there's ever been a death from jiu-jitsu.
In sparring, when no one's looking.
Oh, in sparring. Sorry, I'm talking about competition. In sparring, yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. I mean, in competition,
in sparring,
you don't tap. There's no point tapping. Because the end of the round might be 5 seconds away.
Exactly.
So,
in sparring, if you got like a big class, and people do go to sleep. It's quite common.
Yeah.
You try and be Braveheart before you know it, you're out.
Yeah.
Have you been put out yet?
No, I haven't. No.
Oh, fair enough.
I've been rocked in
Have you been knocked down
kickboxing.
in sparring?
I haven't been knocked down. I've been kicked in the neck, which was a strange experience. Didn't hurt, but like it's impossible to describe the feeling. And same with being, punched in the face really hard. It's impossible to describe because
Yeah, you
there's
just lose
nothing else like it.
balance. Yeah.
Yeah, it's as if like a few seconds, you're not aware of what's going on for a few seconds,
Yeah.
and yet there's still a strange feeling attached. I don't know. It's strange to
Yeah. I've had a
to
flash
explain.
knockdown, as in I got hit, went straight down. I can't even explain it. I just fell over and I got straight back up.
Yeah.
And I felt fine.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah, I've been rocked a few times where like, yeah, I can't even tell you how many seconds I was out of it. It could have been 20 seconds. It could have been 3 minutes. I don't know. But I was out of it.
What from what? Being choked
From
out or
sparring.
being choked out?
No. Stand up.
Ah, okay, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't tell me that. So you got knocked out in sparring?
No. I didn't get knocked out. I've had a flash knockdown in sparring, and I've been hit where I was completely out of it basically.
Oh, okay.
I was still standing,
You
but
feel
I was
strange.
completely
Yeah.
out of it. Yeah, I felt really strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that happened a few times.
Okay. Yeah, I find the punches that rock you, at least in my limited experience, don't hurt. Like you feel absolutely fine. The ones that hurt, yeah, they just hurt. That's very, very unpleasant. But you're not getting knocked out at all. So
Yeah.
Charles Sullivan says something like that. The really heavy shots you don't feel. You're out for a second or two, and then you feel okay.
Yeah. It's all about precision. That's what it is.
Yeah.
The most pain I've been in sparring is from a body shot. I mean, that was like serious pain. And I was just perfectly located.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think we used to spar too hard in LFF. We're diverging off here because we used to get stopped all the time.
It sounds like you're sparring.
Yeah, we used to get stopped all the time, and like people used to say you're hitting each other too hard.
People used to in Spain where I did kickboxing, the coach would stop me personally all the time. Nobody else who stopped me.
The English guy.
Yeah, Spanish people are not they're a bunch of pussies mostly.
That's not nice, Andrew.
The way the Mediterraneans are a little more relaxed, shall we say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're coming through in the UFC though, aren't they? Spaniards.
They are, yeah.
Some are
Finally,
coming through. Yeah.
this has been the year that it's happened. Yeah.
Yeah. One of them's technically Georgian, but whatever. He's got the Spanish flag next to his name.
Yeah. There's that hench wrestler though, who's really good.
Yeah, he's really good. Yeah. And then there's that guy Alvarez at lightweight, the submission guy. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Yeah. Some of them are coming through.
Yeah.
But
we should get on to predictions because we've waffled on a bit here.
We have waffled on. Sorry, guys. Predictions. I've got Alexander Romanov, King Kong, via ground and pound, round 2. No, actually, round 1. I'm going to go with round 1.
I honestly don't know. I feel as though the ground and pound may not be enough to finish it. I'm not sure whether he can actually get the submission against someone with a jiu-jitsu black belt. I just don't know. So I'm just going to say Romanov via unanimous decision.
Yeah. We should mention that Gadzi Murad Antagulov choked out De Lima in the first round, and he's 5'11". But however, he's from a Sambo background. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
I don't think Romanov's done Sambo. His submission grappling would have been a lot more high level.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
I think Romanov for the safe come and a small speculative bet as a hedge on a De Lima KO at plus 500.
yeah, exactly what I'm thinking. That's the only way De Lima can win, in my opinion. Well, there you go, guys. We've both got King Kong. Stay tuned for more fight picks. Although they probably won't be for tomorrow, it'll be for the next card. What is the next card? I can't
Next
remember
week,
now.
the
Yeah,
following
it's
week.
next week. Yeah, it's next week.
That's
So,
what's his name? Makachev and Dos Anjos.
oh shit, is it Makachev and RDA?
Yeah.
That's analysis that doesn't really need to be done, in my opinion. You've got Makachev in the
RDA
safe come
wins.
already.
I'm joking.
Yeah,
Makachev wins.
RDA's getting that mustache ripped off, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, let's what the fuck am I talking about? Thanks for watching, guys. Bye. Stay tuned for more fight picks. Like the videos, please, and enjoy the fights this weekend. And if you're in the UK, you've got no excuse. You have to watch because we're in lockdown for 4 weeks. So sucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right.
All right. Take care, guys.